Solid Majesty Paul Dunas cu ofițerul Jeff Wallace. Hello, Jeff.
Paul,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good.
Până ne pornim din loc, în acest video îți voi arăta cum arată viața unui polițist din Statele Unite ale Americii.
Yeah.
Before we start this little interview we have, tell me more about you.
Oh, about me?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, I'm the chief of police here. I've been in law enforcement for almost 31 years now. A big chunk of that was up in Metro Detroit. I was a police officer up there and did a lot of different things. Worked on multi-jurisdictional task force where we arrested violent offenders and felons all around Detroit. Raid and entry, which is like SWAT or ERT. And just a lot of other like public relations kind of stuff. And then ultimately, I left my career up there, retired early to come down here. And I was an investigator, a detective in the violent crimes unit, so which is anything involving violent crimes against persons up to and including homicides. So I investigated homicides.
What takes a person to become a police cop? Like, what's the personality trait?
If you go back a long time ago, like my dad was a cop in the 50s, and there was a time when they just either hired guys that were like had military experience or were basically the biggest dudes. That's kind of what they used to hire. And not that that doesn't have value, but now it's really more about what the heart is. You have to have a heart to want to help people and make a difference. And I've never known anybody that's gone into law enforcement that didn't want to do something to make a difference. So, yeah.
You told me before you attended the security for an Eminem concert. Do you want to tell me more about it?
Yeah. So Eminem lived in Metro Detroit and moved into a gated community that we would do regular patrols of. And on occasion, he'd have a party. I would stop by to check on things, and a couple of times I actually, got to meet him and his very large bodyguards, kind of a thing.
Large XXL.
Yeah, but it was brief. It wasn't like I knew him personally.
Would you tell us a crazy experience maybe you had?
There's so many. I guess I can be just kind of generic. I mean, it's always a crazy experience when you're involved as an investigator investigating violent crimes. Because when you're present on the scene of something violent that happened and it's like homicide or even accidental death or something, it's definitely, the realism of it is so much more real than what you would see in even a Hollywood movie. Car chases are fun, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Fun. Why it's fun?
Yeah, because
go fast.
Right fast.
What's like a salary for like a person who finished academy, like as a policeman, like
a starting salary?
Yeah.
Probably right now, the low end is usually probably in the 35,000 range.
35,000
to start. Some places like down near Indy, cops that have even a couple years experience are probably going to make double that.
So basically, you gotta love it, and that's the reason you love.
It's not bad money. Don't get me wrong.
It's not bad money.
But I've had no complaints. Let's put it that way. But part of that is just my view of, I don't require much. God takes care of me and has taken care of my family so evidently, and it really isn't about how much is in my bank account.
Yeah.
If I can pay my bills and live a good life, then and I like what I do, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I've never been stopped by a cop ever in my life yet. I have driven my car since like 4 years already. I have never been stopped by a car. How would you advise me to react when a cop stops me, whatever reason it is?
That's probably the number one question I get asked, or my colleagues would get asked.
Just be nervous or whatever.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Anybody in any position, and a police officer is no different, just show the respect. Because, here's the thing. It's like, if you're just honest and you got your hands visible, which is a huge thing, because officer safety is our primary concern when we're out there, and obviously keeping our citizens safe, but we got to keep ourselves safe. If it's at nighttime, you got to put your interior lights on, have your hands up, your window down so we can talk to you, and then just be respectful. And it definitely just puts a police officer, in an appreciative mood for your respect for what we do, because there are times that's, it's just not easy what we do. And I honestly don't know too many cops actually like to write tickets. It's a nature of what we do sometimes. But if somebody like right from the get-go starts having a smart attitude or just being completely disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to still do my job and I'll do it professionally,
Yeah.
but they're probably not going to get that opportunity for a break.
Yeah.
I've been stopped before.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm actually very respectful, and actually it's kind of funny. I mean, people always say, "Oh, you don't even worry about getting stopped." I'm like, actually, if a police officer's behind me, man, I am just all like
straight,
yeah,
careful.
It's just about being respectful and being. There's no need to be nervous, but don't be reaching for stuff.
Right.
Like, don't be talking to a police officer window and start. I mean, just don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, don't move.
Because remember, we have to be reactionary, and a lot of police officers are killed on traffic stops.
I was wondering if we could do an example on you, like I'm being a cop and
Okay.
you're a driver.
Yeah.
Am oprit mașina asta de lângă mine, hai să vedem care e situația aici. Am încălcat o regulă de circulație și vrem să vedem șoferul. Hello. How are you today?
Okay, how are you?
Very good. You know why I stopped you?
I'm not 100% sure.
I stopped you because you didn't say hi when I passed by.
Oh, I meant to too. I wasn't even thinking.
Come on, we're friends all life.
I
man.
know. I wasn't even thinking about that, sir. I was heading to work.
Should I write you a ticket or a warning? What do you think?
I mean, I'd like you to not, but I understand what I did. That's totally up to
We
you.
don't have any illegal things in the car, nothing?
No, sir, I have nothing.
Yeah, I think this time we're gonna forgive Jeff. How about that?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, officer.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Be safe.
Officer Jeff acum să ne arăte cu ce el e echipat, mașina lui și ce suplimente are ca polițist. Okay.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and peek on in the car if you want to. You'll see, basically, probably our most important piece of equipment is our radio system, so we can communicate with other departments. You obviously are probably paying it back. You can see the shotgun, which is let's just see this way. The shotgun in the back. Lights pretty much all over this car, front, back, rear, side,
Wow.
so that we have
So it's blue and
true
red.
360 visibility. Yeah. Some states you can have just blue, but in almost any state, the only one that can have blue lights are police. But then some states are blue and red.
How many lights has this car?
Well, I don't know how many lights, but I can
Yeah.
tell you it's about $5,000 worth of lights.
$5,000 worth of lights.
Yeah.
$5,000 costă luminițele astea.
Yeah. So in here we've got some of our gear. This is lockout tools. This is investigation kit. This is interview kits. We've got first aid kits. We've got ride helmet and goggles in case things get nasty. We've got a measuring device. In here is tactical rifle and more ammo, and a fire extinguisher. So we kind of have to cover everything at one time.
Wow.
So,
So this car is very loaded with things
pretty much,
and
yeah.
ready for anything.
And it's filthy. I apologize. This is winter. I can't keep it clean. Push bumper in the front is actually, if we had to, like an emergency situation, get a car or something out of the way, like.
Yeah, would you tell us on yourself what's all this?
Yeah. So these are handcuffs. There's two pair of handcuffs. Let's go around this way. This is pepper spray.
Okay.
This is my primary sidearm.
course,
It's Glock
the gun.
17. Yep. This is a tourniquet. In the very back are rubber gloves. Collapsible baton.
All right. This one.
Yep.
This opens, right?
Yep. This opens
Open
up.
long.
Yep. Obviously the radio, which is again one of our most important pieces. We have to stay in communication.
Yeah.
This is about 10 to 12 pounds, depending
10
on.
to 12 pounds.
Everybody wears different kinds of gear.
So back home, unfortunately, we have police receiving bribes from drivers who did something illegal, went over speed. How is punished in US if you try to bribe a police or police taking the bribe?
Yeah, well, two sides of that is that a person could be charged with like obstruction of justice if they're trying to bribe a police officer because they're trying to step in the way of what the criminal justice system is trying to do. And then the other side of that is from the police officer side. A police officer accepts a bribe, he'll be fired, and he can also be held criminally liable too. You know, we take an oath to uphold the law, so we need to be setting an example for that. And for me, even if it wasn't a law, there's an integrity piece there that by taking a bribe means that I'm unable to treat others evenly and fairly if some are bribing and some aren't. There's an integrity piece there, and even if I wouldn't get caught, I would know, and my integrity won't let me do that. So there's the right and wrong from a legal standpoint, but there's also the right and wrong from a moral standpoint, and I think you got to consider both of those. So.
Ok, cam atât pentru azi. Sper că v-am dat o idee despre cum arată viața unui polițiști din America, care sunt beneficiile, cu ce se ocupă și cu ce sunt echipați, ați văzut mașina, armamentul și așa mai departe. Mulțumesc încă o dată pentru că ați vizualizat, puneți like, subscribe și ne vedem data viitoare. Thank you, Jeff, again. I really appreciate for everything you've done.